today. Just doing buttonholes on a bunch of these Tesnui or new whatever helmet covers. Well, they're not helmet covers yet, but we'll get there. Yeah. Nice. Nice. These are a little bit uneven, but or like not aligned, but it'll still work. Work great on a helmet cover if you're putting foliage in them. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. We'll cut them out in a bit, the holes. Just going through the motions. It's decent. Got 2 left. And then we're going to go into the middle panels, which take a little bit longer because there's 5 holes instead of 3. Almost there. Nice. Last panel, we have to obviously trim these after get done with everything. I just like to batch cook these basically. So this is the front of the cover. right. First center panel. We'll trim it a bit, but yeah. Nah, it's a little bit off center. Whenever I eyeball these things, I really don't have a template or pattern for the placement. But again, like I was saying on the last stream, like it doesn't actually matter, because if you're using them, it doesn't matter where the placement is, because you want it to be as kind of you want it to be as random as possible if you're putting foliage in these foliage loops. So that's my excuse anyway. Again, like I was saying on the last stream, this is the most tedious part in my opinion, but it also really adds to the aesthetic and the functionality. So if you have a helmet cover, you might as well be able to have foliage slits. You can throw stuff in there and break up the silhouette. Come on. All right, another success. There we go. No, so I reverse engineered an existing Pasget cover. I had one, and I carefully, it takes forever to cut something apart with the seams like very precisely, but I did that and then traced it, made templates that I have, and yeah, that's how I've been doing that. And then I thought these are your wife's hands for a moment. Oh, so you're not going to bitch about the psoriasis? No, my wife's at work right now. But no, I mean, honest to God, sewing is one of those things. It's like canning and, you know, gardening and all that shit. It's not gender specific, and I think the more skills you have, even if it's stupid and benign like this, the better. You know, I know a lot of people who are like, you sew? And they're like, what a fat, oh wait, actually that's pretty cool. It's like, yeah, I mean, skills are skills. And yeah, I mean, it's fun too. Like it's fun creating something. Like the first helmet cover I ever made, I was like, holy shit, I just made that. And a lot of trial and error as well, I'm not gonna lie. But my wife doesn't sew on a machine regularly. She knows how to, but she's been out of practice, and she thinks it's awesome that I do this. And I think it's awesome too, because I get to make really cool shit. And you know, allow people to have a cool piece of equipment or whatever gear that they wouldn't have otherwise been able to have. And yes, these aren't mass produced, so they're going to be all unique and whatever. But it's yeah, it's really fun. I love learning skills that, you know, people would be like, oh, it's up to a chick. Well, since the '60s, guys, most women are, you know, strong, empowered type, and they don't do this shit anymore. And also, I know a lot of older guys who know how to sew and do a bunch of quote unquote, you know, women shit. And they're very successful people. Very successful. So, also, I just like learning random shit. Like, the whole story behind this is like last fall, I got a wild hair up my ass. I'm like, I want to make helmet covers out of obscure and kind of unique patterns for modern helmets. And I was like, well, in order to do that, I have to learn how to use a sewing machine. And I'm like, okay, well, never done it before. My mom sewed when I was a kid. My grandma sewed. So I've seen how it's done. I got tips from them, but I just had never, you know, done it. And then one day I told my wife, I was like, I'm going to go buy a sewing machine. And she's like, okay, like it's going to be one of your like 2-month-long obsessions and then you're never going to use it again. Well, we're going on like month 7 or 8 of this and I still do it. And it's fun because eventually I'm going to get into making myself some uniforms and stuff. I couldn't possibly sell them because I was talking with Devin K and it's like, dude, for one uniform, like a BDU set, right? And like, say I use this material, right? Which is perfectly fine for a BDU set. It's going to take me, as I've done it before, you know, we're not counting the first uniform because the first uniform is going to take me for fucking ever because it's such trial and error. But if I were to make a uniform, being a very skilled person who's done many of them, it would take me 12 to 16 hours to do all that because of the stitching. Those uniforms are made to be, they're very industrialized, right? And for me to have 12 to 16 hours into something, my time is worth money, right? And everybody's time is worth money. And I couldn't sell like a uniform for less than like, you know, $800 to $1,000 just because of the time I've gotten into it, right? And that it's not feasible. So I am working on trying to get some custom cuts made overseas. Unfortunately, it's at that point, but yeah, I enjoy doing these because again, they're all made in the USA, and you know, I make them myself. And yes, I charge a decent amount for them, but it also, you see how much effort and time one of these covers takes. Shit. And so it is what it is. Ah, shit. Okay. So something happened where... I can fix this later, but like, here's what happened is, with sewing or anything you do, I got the one side of the buttonhole done, and then something happened. I think the bobbin might be... Yeah, the bobbin's out. Damn it. So I have to change that and get more thread on there because it's just not making stitches because there's only one thread on here right now. But so this thing, I have to go back and finish that later. Oh, I suppose I should cut the thread first. All right, so you guys get to see this. This is a fun process. If you guys don't sew, like the bobbin is the one that kind of loops in underneath and creates the stitch. And you have to have thread in the bobbin. Industrial sewing machines, they don't use them as much anymore. But anyway, so I've got a couple threaded up. So I'm gonna throw the bobbin in like this. Gonna thread that, and now we get to do what's called catching the bobbin. So I'm gonna hand crank this. Oh, son of a bitch. I was holding this one as well. Okay. It's always fun having a little stupid hobby. Come on. All right, so I gotta untangle this because I just totally fucked that up. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to hold the one thread, the main thread, and there we go. We've caught it. Oops, sorry, I hit the things I'm looking underneath here. And so you have to pull this, and you see how that comes out in the same place relatively as the main thread. All right, we've caught the bobbin. Trim that, put the cover back on. All right, we are good to go again, but yeah, I'm gonna have to repair that, or basically unfuck that other piece that I had. Not a big deal, it happens. There we go, we're back in business. Yeah, Matthew, if you're still watching, I found out you have to be super patient to disassemble a garment or whatever the hell you're making, like a helmet cover or whatever. You have to be super patient and very meticulous about it, or it's not going to turn out well, and you'll just waste that original. It's very frustrating and tedious, especially if you're an impatient person like me. But it is worth it in the end, because now I've made hundreds of these helmet covers. Come on, baby. But anyway, yeah, it's very nice once you actually get the pattern disassembled. You can make a template and then just use that. But again, it's very labor intensive, very tedious. I done goofed on that one, but I can make that work. Yeah, get one of these. Just get a seam cutter. They're like $1 or $2 at Walmart or wherever. You can get these anywhere. But you have to be you have to be very meticulous and very patient. I'm in the process of, I've been working on a frickin' a BDU top and then an ACU top for a couple months now because I'll get frustrated and I'll start fucking stitches up. Like I'll start tearing through the material and I'm like, I mean, it'll still work, but I get frustrated. So I'm just like using this and being very careful with it. And then I'll just be like, all right, I'm going to set this down and pick it up at a different time. So yeah, there's a reason why not everyone can do this. Again, it's not that hard. It's just very time consuming. And again, your time is worth money. And so that's why I have to charge what I charge for these things, but it's definitely worth it. I think people should have more skills than they currently have. Like being on a computer and playing games is not really a skill, it's just kind of a pastime. This kind of shit's fun because if you really try hard enough, like I do, you can make a little bit of money off of it. And it's actually very therapeutic. Like when I'm having a shitty day, or, you know, something like that, I'll just do a hobby that I have, not necessarily sewing, but let's go out and do something and be creative. And I mean, I consider this art. I know it might sound fucking, you know, cheesy and like a and like a dipshit, like 20-year-old hipster's viewpoint on life, but I'm creating something out of another thing, and then people are enjoying it. And that's what I consider art. So it's very satisfying making this. And again, if you haven't watched the other day, when I was starting these out, the end result is very satisfying. And I started just making these for myself, and then one of my buddies said, hey, you should sell these. And so that's how this became a thing, and people have been buying them, and they're like, yeah, these covers are awesome. I'll do them in whatever pattern I want because I have to source the fabric, which is also a bitch and a half itself. Like this stuff, I had to actually do a bit of negotiating with the supplier that I've been selling the uniforms from, and I said, hey, do you have the fabric? And they're like, no, we can't do that, blah, blah, blah. And it was like a couple months, and then finally they said, hey, are you still interested in the fabric? I said, absolutely. And then I had to have the money right there, right then, which luckily I did. And then we did the deal, and it got here the other day, and that's why I'm getting these done. The link, by the way, just go to my online shop, just mikesmilitaria.com. It's in the description if you want to just click on that. If you want one of these. And oh, Crunchy, you can fucking flounder head. That's all I've got right now. I'm very distracted. I'm actually working. I'm not just driving a fucking vehicle around the Midwest, so I'm actually doing something that requires skill. Yeah, you know, back when I was a Navy SEAL, they said get your calories from what you eat, not what you drink. And I've lived by that ever since, and that's why I'm in the best shape of my life. Oh, okay, Jesse. Yeah, you know, Halliburton and KBR were responsible for the BP oil spill. Hopefully I can make it drive a little bit less shitty, even though you're in a shitty part of that state. Crunchy and I have met. We're old acquaintances, we'll say. Oh, come on. No, don't bunch up. Almost fucked that one up. Almost fucked that one up because usually the like feed system, which I'll show you in a second, works really well, but that one I didn't. You kind of have to work with the fabric, right? And I just wasn't right there. I was like reading the comments, and I was like, wasn't pushing it quite fast enough or the steady pace, and it almost started bunching up on that, and I almost fucked that whole buttonhole up, which would have sucked because I'm on the second to last one at that point. All right, let me just focus here for a second. Get this panel done. And like I was saying earlier, if you weren't here, this is the most probably tedious part of these covers because it's just repetitive bullshit of putting the foliage slits in there, or the buttonholes rather. And yeah, so I'm gonna cut this off. I'll show you really quick for those who are just tuning in. It's honest to God, it's my least favorite part, and I was considering just not doing them anymore, but they actually do add to the cover itself. So you get those two buttonholes. Yeah, I know they're not even. Again, this is all custom shit, and it's actually better if they're not evenly spaced because of the whole breaking up the silhouette. But you know, I'm gonna cut these out with a razor blade, so they're actually foliage slits. I just need them reinforced because if you just cut slits into the cover itself, obviously it's gonna fray and it's gonna tear, and the whole cover is gonna be fucked. So that's why they do this on military covers, and that's why I'm doing it this way. But again, it's really fucking tedious and kind of repetitive. And in a little bit, I'm gonna have to go take a little piss break, but get one or two more done, and then we can go on, because I realized I looked at my orders and that the last limited edition batch, I have not shipped these yet. German Oak A reversible covers. Now those take extra time, so a little bit more expensive, and we'll actually sew one of those together and we'll put the drawstring on it in a bit. But again, I'm gonna have to take a piss break here in a second. But all right, let's just get this one done. Knock this bitch out. Justin, this version of sow is spelled with an E. Sow means like sowing seeds in the ground or sowing your seed in some other human being. This is SEW, just a little grammatical correction there. Appreciate the comment though. Doke, almost done. It is a lot more fun actually when we start assembling these, so you can see the formation of them. But there's a lot of steps that you have to take to get these to the way I want them before you actually assemble them, and then it becomes a functional cover. And I do test every single cover on a Pasget, a large Pasget or lightweight helmet, before they go into the pile of the ones that are going out to customers. So this stream might go a little bit long today because I'm kind of in the mood. It's a rainy day out, it's kind of gloomy, and it's nice to, kind of therapeutic to just do this. Son of a bitch. Oh, actually, I screwed up two of these, so we'll just throw these to the side for now. I'll do those later. Or should I just do them now? I don't know. I have to take a piss break, so if you're in the comments, if people are like, where the hell is he? Why is this just quiet? Just tell them that I'm taking a 10-minute break. I'll be back. Okie doke. I'm back. Yeah. Thank you guys who were here before I went on my piss break. Just took 10. When I get into sewing, like I kind of zone out for a bit and I need like little breaks here and there. So just go walk around the yard. It stopped raining, so anyway, we'll get back to it. What the hell am I gonna do now? So I don't want to just bore you guys with like, so the other day, sorry, I tried to rip the vape, but it's not cooperating. The other day I was showing you like, well, I'll just do one of these, right? So after we get these buttonholes or these foliage slits sewn on, you see that there's a lot of thread that's holding everything together. So you have to go through with the scissors and meticulously cut off what we call in the military the Irish pennants. I don't know where the hell that term came from, but that's what they called them, right? So you gotta cut off all this excess thread. It is also very tedious, but then you have to go through and let me just cut this shit off and I'll show you on just this one. Then we're gonna sew 2 helmet covers together that are actually, I forgot that people had ordered them. They need to get done and they need to get shipped out as soon as possible. Blah, blah. This is what I say, it's just tedious. You have to do this with every single piece of fabric that you sew anything onto is remove the excess thread. These scissors are awesome. I got them in a Czechoslovakian first aid, or not a first aid, it's like a medic bag. And they were like brand new. And these scissors are freaking awesome for sewing. Absolutely awesome. Oh shit, I forgot one. All right, and then you gotta, they stick to the fabric. Anyway, so now I'll just show you this one. What's my favorite World War II helmet? The Italian M33. I think it's the best helmet of the Second World War. So this one, I usually do it on my lap because you can get more tension. But I'll show you here. Here's how I actually cut the foliage slits or buttonholes out. It's very meticulous. You got to use an actual razor blade. Like I said the other day, I use an old school safety razor that uses these razor blades. And it gets a very close shave. It's awesome. It's better than disposables in my opinion. It's a lot cheaper too. So, bam. Oh, didn't get it. It's really hard to not cut the stitching on these things. Damn it. All right, so turn this around. Because they get dull very quick doing this kind of shit. All right, there we go. That was a good cut. So, come on, baby. Yeah, so there we go. That's how you create buttonholes. You don't want to cut through either side, of course, either one of the bar tacks on either side, because it can create problems. I'm not gonna do this right now. We're just gonna actually get to oh shit. These were organized. We're gonna get to actually sewing reversible oak A helmet cover together. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take, we've got a right panel. I always use well here, let me just show you. I always do green side out when I'm sewing these things, right? Okay, that's a, here's a left panel, right? So you've got this, that's gonna be on the left side. You've got this, which is gonna be on the right side. I've already cut these holes out, as you can see, the foliage slits. So you don't have to sit there and watch me do really boring, mundane, monotonous shit. So now we need to take the buttonhole boot off of the machine, which is that easy, right? So there it is. And we're gonna put the actual foot, the actual, and the other day somebody was asking me like, hey, how many times have you been stuck by the needle and whatever? You really don't if you don't screw up. Like my fingers can't actually get underneath this foot. And so this foot goes on, you put it down there, and you drop the, there's like a hook thing on the sewing machine itself. Bam, it's on. You see that? Now it's attached. I'm going to put the thread through the foot. Okay. So it is actually really hard to get your finger in there unless you're really doing something stupid, like you're hammered drunk or you're high or something like that. Generally speaking, you can just guide it, and then you can feel like the foot will move if you are about to, stick yourself with the needle. So I've never been hit yet, but I've heard people who have been. All right, so you can see that this is kind of well, maybe you can't. This is kind of tapered, right? And so on the left side right here, that's the front of the cover, and the rear side is the bigger one. So what we're going to do is it's going to sit like this, but you want to have a top stitch to where it's pretty, I don't know the word, discreet. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to flip this over. So it's got the autumn side on top. We're going to line this up here, okay? And then I'm going to adjust the knobs, which you can't see, but it is what it is, to there, and then adjust the setting to just a regular single stitch. Now, all right, a little pedal down here. And yeah, I usually, I think somebody on the, one of the old streams that I did of this, they saw my cloven hooves, right? And they're like, yeah, I'm not the only one that sews barefoot. No, I sew barefoot because it's like driving a car. You want to have the most control possible. And if you're wearing like shoes or socks even, it kind of throws that off. I know it sounds weird, but whatever. So what we're going to do is on normal covers that are non-reversible, you only have to do 2 rows of stitching, which I showed you on the last, that was 2 streams ago. But this one requires a 3rd additional stitch, and I'm going to show you that. So we're going to put these together. You're going to line it up, drop the foot, and this part you need to be very meticulous with if you're going to try this, which it's fun, but like it's also, again, very tedious and whatnot. So you can see that. And we're just bringing these 2 panels together. Cool. All right. Now we're going to go back and do another stitch, another top stitch, just to give it some reinforcement. You can get away with this, just one single top stitch, but I just like to reinforce them, so when you're pulling them tight on the helmet, it looks better. Now this part sucks because if you don't pull the main panel out of there and you keep the you don't keep the stitch like, or I'm sorry, the material like perfectly flat and taut, it will stitch into the cover, and then when you get done with it, you're like, oh shit, it just doesn't look right. So anyway, here we go. See how it's kind of like bunching up right here? If you don't address that, you can actually stitch through and it'll like have, it'll do this and it'll be like all crumpled up. So you're stitching 3 or 4 layers instead of 2, which is our goal right now, is 2. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Come on, baby. And this is a heavier material. This is the cotton duck. This is like kind of, let's see if I can do this. This is a little bit more rigid than like the Austrian shit that I was just using. Cool, so we got that panel attached to the center panel, and now we're going to be attaching the Alright, so again, we're going to reverse this. So this is how it's going to sit, but in order to get the stitch right, and you'll see that in a bit, you want to reverse this. This is what I had a problem with, like trying to figure out with the reversible stuff immediately. You want to have the autumn side up like this, the front corner, and then do the same thing. Yes, these are actually being made for customers right now, and because I totally forgot that I had sold 2 more than I thought I did, which is awesome. Good problem to have. So if you're watching one of these and I haven't shipped you one of these yet, this is probably going to be one of the ones that I send out. Okay. This side's always easier for whatever reason. It might just be like, I don't know, it might be a fucking placebo effect, but alright, cool. Again, you want to keep it nice and tight so you don't stitch part of the cover that you don't want to. Just going back to the second top stitch right now. Damn it. Alright, nope. Too far. God, yeah. It's very, like, it's trial and error. It's very tedious. But, again, the end result is so awesome. Taking this part very slow because I was pretty near the edge on the first stitch, so. Come on. Shit. I might have fucked a couple stitches up, but it'll still be alright. That's why I do 2 rows of stitching. Alright. So, really quickly, I'll explain to whoever's watching the whopping for you why the reversible cover needs an extra row of stitching, and that's right here. You can see this if it's on the I'll show you this. If it's on the green side, the summer, spring side, whatever, that stitching looks really good, right? It'll pull tight and then it's flush. But on the autumn side, it's not going to be. You're gonna have that flap. So what we need to do is put an extra layer of top stitching on here to pull this down. It will not affect the the spring side at all, but it will pull this down so it's a nice sealed seam. And this part is very meticulous because you have to keep this tight enough to where it's not gonna, you're not gonna sew anything you don't want to. So this can be kind of a slow process. This is why these cost a little bit more, because they take so much more time. All right, so you want to keep this nice and keep this folded down. Come on. And when you see the end result, you're going to be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But this part is very tedious because you want to make sure this is going to look good. Yeah, and this material that I'm using, like I said, the Oak A is like cotton duck material. It's like very heavy. It's like canvas. Oh shit, this pattern's lining up actually. This pattern is lining up really well. Usually it's pretty random, but... Okay, so we got that stitch done. We're in business. Snipping those loose ends. So, okay, right now I'll just show you the difference between this side that we just did. It's flush, it's good to go, and it doesn't at all impact the other side. Now, this is the one that we haven't done yet, and it sits like that. So that's why we do the other stitch. It's a quality control thing, and it's just kind of a fucking OCD thing, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't be comfortable selling something like this with that profile to a customer. Like, it would drive me nuts. So that's what I would assume. But we're almost there. Like we're come on. Come on, you bitch. Cooperate. All right. Same thing. We're gonna keep this nice and tight, but not too tight. Keep folding this over. Yep, see, it almost tried to bunch up right there. It's manipulating the fabric you're working with, too. That's a big part of sewing. I know it's a pretty basic bitch statement, but it is. And this will also add strength to the reinforcement of the integrity of the cover as a whole. Nice. All right, so we've got that done. All right, so we're just gonna trim all the Irish pennants off, right? You sneaky little bastard. Okay. So now we've actually got the cover pretty much assembled, right? You can see this. It's starting to look like a helmet cover now, right? But there's one thing we have to do, and that's put the drawstring on it to be able to secure it to the helmet itself. And while we're talking about that, I'm gonna shit can this cover so we can actually test this. This is the end result. This is the Austrian Taz Nui, or Nu, whatever how you pronounce it. Cover that I showed you the other day, but I'm gonna shit can this one off of the Pasget, and then we're gonna just show you how this works. Fucking A. Just dropped it. Oh, I gotta cut the, alright, so I'm gonna cut the 550 cord. Once I get these giant fucking spools. And I'm gonna use an undisclosed amount of length. Bam, good to go. Snip that off. And I just hit the frickin' thing. Yeah. Hey, Woodenator. And then, hey, hi. Helmets Productions, hello. Yeah, I'll be back in a little bit. Again, I'm gonna take a little break so I can focus on finishing this cover up, and then we're gonna put it on a Pasget, and you're gonna see why these are so freaking cool. So I'll be back, and there's like 2 of you in here, but like somebody comes in, they're like, "Where is he?" Just let them know that I'm taking a 10. All right, we are back. Now, what we have to do is before we freaking get this drawstring installed, we have to reinforce the back and cut out the drawstring little area. So I'm gonna put this in here. Adjust this to be a bar tack. And check this out. Oh shit, drop the foot. Wait a second. What the hell? Oh! Yeah, gotta have your knobs, your settings correct. All right. There. So we're just gonna put a bar tack in place. All right. So again, I was telling you guys, there's a lot of steps to this shit. I'm just going to trim off the excess. And then what we're going to do is all right. So now we can get to the fun part. This is also a very tedious part. You have to get it correct. So what I do on these reversible oak A covers is I'll start on the autumn side and I'll fold this back. There will be a little bit of green side underneath, right? But here we go. Oh, I gotta adjust my settings. I always forget that. All right, bam, 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 bam. All right, this part actually does suck a little bit. Because you don't want to get the 550 cord stitched into the cover material. And that really does suck. I've had a bunch of covers that I'll stitch them and I'm like, oh, it looks good. And then I'll try to pull it through and it just does not work and it rips the cover and then the whole cover is screwed. So give yourself enough room. Manipulate the material. I usually start at the bar tack we just did, right? The reinforcing stitch. And this is how we do it. Oh, I do need to trim this. You want to keep it as kind of tight to the edge as possible. But also, like I said, there's like a very fine margin of error. Okay, so this part sucks too because this just happened. That's why I'm saying it, is the foot right here will actually start hanging higher on the 550 cord if you're too close, but also you want to be that close. So take your time if you're going to be making one of these, which I don't recommend because it's a learning process, but I also do recommend it because it's a hobby. So, all right, here we go. I gotta get closer for this because I actually can see in detail what's going on. And now because it's like a Pasget clone cover, like an ACH cover, this part you're gonna have to fold over and see we're already off. So, all right, get the needle up. Okay, yeah, this part's the biggest bitch. It's not the most tedious, but it's like you have to pay attention to this part. All right, so the foot's down. Just gonna slow it down nice and slow. Sweet Jesus. And then you're gonna fold this over. You're gonna make sure we're in business. It's straightening out. All right. Yep. Keep that 550 cord as far to the edge as possible, and it's easier said than done. Again, a lot of practice, trial and error. So this is going to be the front part of the cover. Now we go back to the fun part where it's going to start curving again. And again, it's usually not this hard on like a non-reversible cover, but because this one is reversible, you want to have as little of the opposite side material popping through as possible, even though it's Irish pennant, lovely. Even though it's not like, it's not going to happen, but like you just want to try to mitigate as much as possible. So now we got the curve again. We're going to pull it over here. All right, I'm going to fold this. Fold it again. Again, take your time with this. Like that's all you can do is cut these off, the Irish pennants. It's probably a British German. I'm not really one for the Brits, but hey. Now, the reason we did the bar tacks earlier on either side is so when you pull the string, it provides strength, right? Now there's this little flap You gotta meticulously, well, not really, but like as meticulous as I can get. Pop that over, get the drawstrings out of the way, and this part's really fun. Bam, because we're near the finish line. Or are we? No, because again, I do double row stitching to reinforce this. This one's a lot easier because you're not working with the details. You can just go outside of the initial stitch, because if you did your job right, if you did your job right, the stitching will be outside of the 550 cord, and then you just put it on the other side of the 550 cord just to reinforce it. Yeah, it's not liking me right now. It's trying to fight me. The 550 cord. The foot does not like 550 cord. I'm pretty sure I just punched through a bit of the 550 cord, but I'll show you how that works in a second. Oh, we're done. Oh, no, we're not. We're close to done. But what I do here is, after I have sewn 2 rows of stitching, I'm also going to put another reinforcing bar tack. Let me get the adjustments right. Okay, cool. The knobs are all good. Right here over that flap and between the 2, or like above the 2 bar tacks. So check this out. I'll show you what it looks like in a second. All right. So, I'm gonna cut the thread, of course. Get rid of the Irish pennants. Bam. A bang, a bang, a skeet, skeet. Okay, so we got rid of the Irish pennants. We did? No, we didn't. Yeah, we did. The hell? Where are these from? Anywho. So, oh my God. That stitching got all messed up, but we'll snip, snip. All right, so on the back, what we did is we did a, we had the bar tacks initially there, right, on the sides, and then I put a bar tack up here to reinforce it. So now, let's see if we can, or no, I'll do the short side. Let's see if we can pull the drawstring through. We can, it's moving freely. I thought I nailed it a couple times. I did not. All right, so, freaking Irish pennants, man. But, all right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna actually move the machine away, and we're gonna test this. So, put the helmet backwards. Yep, this is gonna fit nice. So check this out. I usually pull, I made a video on this, but like I'll just do it again. I usually pull one side at a time just to get it fitted, right? Okay. That side, this side. Oh, come on. You dirty bitch. Oh yeah, it's, the placement matters. Come on. Okay, so now I've got this. I'm gonna tie it as tight as possible without breaking, you know, the bar tacks and shit back here. There, you can actually pull it, right? It's gonna do a easy knot. The reason I'm not putting the cat eye band on yet is because I just want to show you they do fit. And you can make them tighter, you can wet them down and all that shit. But you see that seam? Now what we're going to do is we're going to reverse it. I'm going to show you the autumn side. What's cool about these oak A covers is, bam. And you see those seams as well? You'll see them better on the helmet. All right, so it's very slippery. It's super slippery, oh my God. All right. Come on. This is just my placement, and you have to finagle it a little bit. Okay, so the autumn side, same thing. You can pull on this shit because we did the bar tacks and reinforced it. Pull that. I'm not gonna tie it fully, but see the seam? That's why we had to do that other stitch, or else it would be like sticking up straight right now, and it'd be kind of looking stupid. Got the foliage slit up there, 2 in the front, 3 on each side, 2 in the back. And I'm gonna throw the foliage band, or the cat eye band, on. You can see that most of the green doesn't actually show through, and if it did, it doesn't matter. If you're in an autumn setting, there's still green out there. So there you go. There's the end result of what we just made. And again, the seams, that's why I do that 3rd row stitching. Looks just fine to me, right? Yeah. Your dad said that sewing was gay. Well, maybe he was closeted. Sewing is not a woman's job. I fucking do it. A lot of other men that I know who are awesome people sew as well. And yeah. Don't worry about what your dad said. It's not gay. It's a good skill to have. Because you can also repair clothing if you know how to sew. Yeah. You play on autumn oak leaf cup? Yeah. Yeah, I saw you. Oh, never mind. Yeah, they're reversible. They're freaking cool. They do require a shitload of time and effort, which is why I have to charge what I charge for them. If you don't like the price, don't buy it, but like they're really fucking cool. Like, I think autumn oak leaf is the best autumn pattern. I would think Plane Tree 3/4 is my favorite woodland, or like summer spring pattern when it's more green. But yeah, so I didn't tie this. I told you I wasn't going to. But yeah, so this is going to go out to a customer who bought one of these a while back. I do limited editions because I cannot keep up with the amount of patterns people are ordering. So I release one pattern at a time because I have to hand make all these. And you saw some of the process today, but there's a lot more to it than you would think. But yeah, this is the end result, and they're really cool. I like them. And I'll just get my Plane Tree cover really quick. I've only made one of these, or maybe I made a couple. So I've got my Plane Tree cover right here, 3/4 pattern, reversible to autumn. I think the oak A is a lot better in autumn, but this would also still work great. It's fantastic. I love it. And then I also, in the future, I'm going to be doing, it's going to be fun. Plane Tree overprint. So this is a cover I made for myself, just out of it, you know, for an experiment. I only have a limited amount of material for this, but this stuff is really cool. It's also reversible. The reversible covers, like I said, take more time and everything, but I think it's worth it. Look at that. So, yeah. Anywho, got those, and then the OK covers this one right here. It's no longer available currently, but like we got the Taz Noi. People pronounce it all different. Covers that I'm going to be making, and yeah, they're pretty damn cool. I like helmet covers. They're really especially like older patterns with new helmets, right? Because like the Paz gets pretty, the shape itself is pretty universal. So there's a lot of clones that like you can throw these things on. You can throw these things on M1s, ACHs, ECHs, all that stuff. They do, like somebody mentioned in the comments the other day, is like they do fit on fast helmets as well. If you don't mind the rails being covered up. Because the drawstring, that's why I chose the drawstring. Oh shit, we didn't finish this. Okay, so now that this is confirmed to fit on a Pazgit, what I do is I will pop this thing out as far as it'll go, the drawstrings. Okay, I'm gonna trim the drawstrings. Shit can those. And then where in the hell is my damn lighter? Oh, there it is. Okay, so yeah, this is the finishing touch. And this is also for a customer, so I mean, they already bought it and paid for it. Yep, you just come on, why are you not cooperating? There we go. You don't want to have like a bunch of drip on 550 core when you burn it and like singe the ends and like seal the end. So sorry if it's not focusing. That's about where I get it. Kind of like a little mushroom, like a Tellermine kind of thing. Just enough to where it's not going to fray. Cool. Sorry, once these cool, this is going to go out to a customer. So yeah. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to make these streams to show you guys like how much time actually goes in to like making each helmet cover. It's a lot of time. It really is, but it's so satisfying when you just saw that on the Pazgit. It's like, holy shit, that looks really good. Right? And again, it was a harebrained idea I had last fall. I told my wife, I said, I'm buying a sewing machine. And I'm gonna learn how to sew, and I did. A lot of trial and error, but I'm enjoying this. So, yep. That's where we'd be. So, anyway, if you want to get one of these, the link is in the description, mikesmilitaria.com. Not one of these, per se, but like one of the Austrian Taz new helmet covers that I was just working on today. Those are the ones that are available now. And I have a bunch of other military surplus stuff. That's what I do for a living, as I sell military surplus and cool reenacting stuff. But yeah, I appreciate it, all you guys watching, and comment below with what you think. These streams are something that I kind of just, again, a wild hair at my ass. Like, well, I'm doing this anyway, and I think you guys would like to see how they're made. So that was the idea for that. But anywho, thanks so much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.